Blessed Thursday, y'all. Brother Rod here with you. As always, promise not to keep you too long. And I am elated that you have allowed me to come into your space again. Amen. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, just want to share with you real quick from Luke chapter 45 and 46. Heads up, you can find this also in Mark chapter 11 and John 2. This is where Jesus cleanses the temple. Amen. So let's read. And he went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold therein and them that bought, saying unto them, It is written, My house is the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. What caused Christ to move in a way what I call righteous anger? Because he went into God's house, amen, expecting to see people doing God's things, amen, but yet he did not. What he found was a lot of commercialization, a lot of corruption. People are disrespectful to not only God's house, amen, but also to the poor. When I think about this, I think about today of how churches conduct themselves. And I'm not saying we have a perfect church, but we do strive to be, amen, the children of God, worshiping God in God's house, amen. I always say we are in the house of prayer. Let's conduct ourselves in that manner. But when we get here, what we find is that Christ has to remind them, amen, who are there doing all this, that God's house is not a den of thieves, but it is a house of prayer where all people can come in, broken, people dealing with all kind of issues, in expectation to meet God, amen, in expectation to receive Christ, in expectation to be edified, in expectation to be healed of their infirmities, in expectation to know that there's still hope available. But what we find today is we find a lot of commercialization, just as Christ found. We find a lot of corruption, just as Christ had found. So I thought about this, and I took a pause for a minute before I made this video and said, man, what would Christ be looking for today? He was looking for the exact same thing. Amen. He was looking for a church, amen, that is worshiping him, that is worshiping God, that is lifting his name up, that people will come to know what he died for, and that is them, and that is me. Amen. So as we go forth in our daily lives, as we attend our fellowships, let's always be mindful, amen, of how we conduct ourselves in the house of prayer, for you never know when someone else will show up looking for that house of prayer and could be turned off by the way that we carry ourselves. I'll leave you with this. What would Christ find if he came to your church? I will hope he would not find a bunch of people not doing what he would expect them to be doing. And I will hope that he would find a bunch of people doing exactly what he would expect them to be doing. Amen. God bless y'all. Hope something has been said to inspire you to continue to keep pressing forward and conducting ourselves in decency and in order as we go into the house of prayer each and every day, each Sunday, each Wednesday, whatever day you may go. Amen.